And so I said to the person, I mean, come on, it's a year's supply of good meat. I mean, it's got to be worth a fortune on the market, right?
Well, yeah, but let's not forget, you can never have too many lawnmowers.
I know. Hi! Welcome to the Smash TV Easy Mode Tournament. This is year number 9 for this wonderful endeavor. We have a 4-bagger of great matches for you today. I am Sigma Fan. This is Jackimus Wedge, and no, I was not trying to sell a year of good meat on the black market. We have our first match of 4 today. This is Mr. Dino taking on TheRealZ3ro. There's a little bit of revenge factor going on with Mr. Dino because Zero's brother is J-Pop for life, and J-Pop eliminated Mr. Dino from the winners from the original bracket. So now it is up to Dino to try to seek a little bit of revenge.
I mean, winning is nice too. Revenge is just, extra motivation.
I would agree. So I'm not selling the meat. Anyway, this is a best of 5. Winner moves on. Loser will go home because this is our second chance bracket. Jack is setting up the runners, and we will be underway for game number 1.
Yeah, it should be a pretty good matchup there. RealZ3ro and Dino are two of the top runners of the game right now, both in the second chance bracket, though. That just shows you how tight the field's gotten in Smash TV. I'm just waiting on confirmation from one of our runners, then I'll give the countdown, and then we shall play. Well, I told them to play, so let's hope they start to play. Also, make sure to give thanks to Dino. He is both restreaming the channel and doing a race at the same time. Takes a lot of talent to get that going. And as you can see, he's got a few seconds here at the start to get them synced up, and then it's time to play.
And play they shall. As we see here, Zero's doing the... This was a strat invented and actually discovered in last year's tournament. If you do it properly, you get a first drop orb in like power-ups. Dino is not too familiar with that, so he'll just do it regularly.
Yeah, a lot of the old school runners haven't adopted the new technique, the manipulation there. But when the manipulation works, which in the case of RealZ3ro looked like the first room at least went correctly, you create your own luck and you get a first drop orb. That's pretty huge in a race. Takes a little bit of the luck element out of the early rooms in the arena, at least.
And that's exactly what happened. And you got a Razor Shield as a backup, too, which is perfect. So if any of the Swarmers kind of misses fire, they'll just get shredded. That is not a good sign for RealZ3ro, though. He does get grenades on the feet. But Mr. Dino also got his orb, so we're pretty much even.
Dino unfortunately couldn't stop that last shrapnel from exploding, so going to enter about 2 seconds behind into eating my shrapnel, but yeah, they both got an orb. It's going to come down to skill, at least for the arena. Oh yeah, and here's the obligational. We're in Eat My Shrapnel. There's 18 of them Mr. Shrapnel dudes. You have to kill every single one of them for the room to end. You never want to have 4 on screen at once, otherwise you lose time.
And that's never a good thing. Dino's got himself some spreaders. They'll help him clear the rest of the room. He's going to use those spreaders until they run out. Then he's going to grab those rockets.
Rockets are the best weapon in any arena room, no exception. So having a full clip of them coming into total carnage will give Dino a slight early advantage. Never mind, RealZ3ro got rockets as a first drop, so again, even Steven Sigma.
Exactly, and even though RealZ3ro does have a couple of a seconds lead, it all depends on the fire lanes, what comes after that. Zero haven't have to go quite a bit of distance to get those rockets, so some of the advantage of those rockets are lost. but MrDino gets a advantage that Zero hasn't gotten yet, and that's a Razor Shield. However, the Rock, it's kind of a trade-off. The offense for the defense, more rockets versus the Razor Shield. Dino getting spreaders and just trying to hold on. However, wow, 250 out of total carnage for TheRealZ3ro.
Oh, Dino just missed the nuke by a frame and has to clean the room up. He was saving it and timing it, he just didn't quite get it. So TheRealZ3ro going to build a bit of an advantage going into the infamously awful tank trouble.
Yep, he's got about a 10-second advantage. And with tank trouble is you got those gunners, you want to get rid of them quick. Otherwise, they could cause some real trouble.
Well, Zero able to get rid of one of the gunners right away, and is going to get rocket drop primo. That'll get rid of the other gunner and allow Zero to control the room. First drop nuke for Dino will at least allow him to get rid of the gunners.
Yep, and get a little bit extra breath to set himself.
Ooh, bit
Dino
of a risky grab from
sacrifice.
Dino there. He does get the rockets, loses the orb. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but now Dino needs to see literally every drop be a rocket from here to the end of the room, otherwise he will lose some time.
Invuln helps, these spreaders will help. I mean...
Oh, that's a sizzling mutoid entry
Yeah.
from TheRealZ3ro. 4 minutes flat.
That is just great time, no matter how you slice it. That is a pro run. He's got a PB chance, I think.
Oh, well, you always have a PV chance when you enter Mutoid. It's just...
Oh, can he get these spreaders?
And
oh, he's got the spreaders.
With an early good spreader, PV probably still on the table. 2 arms gone immediately. Great spreader there. Unfortunately, he gets zapped.
Can he get lucky?
For the lobber.
He'll get another lobber, though. That is still a good weapon. He's going to try to nail those lobbers in between where those... underneath the base of the neck.
He's
and that
got a
little
spreader
shiny
opportunity for Dino here. That'll help him get caught up a bit here. He's 3 forms behind, but once he's done this spreader, he should be a little closer than that. Oh, look at that spreader. Is Zero going to get it? He does.
Oh, we got a PB chance. We got a PB chance.
Sigma. Great transfer damage. Just needs 1 weapon to finish Mutoid off. We could be looking at a 530. If he's accurate with these lobber shots, a 530 definitely in play for TheRealZ3ro. And he got it.
He barely is going to miss the PB, but he will be out at a sizzling time. 5:34.
If you're Dino, you just have to tip your cap here. That's, if you get a 5:34 in a race, you should not lose that race. That is an unreal time. Great play coupled with great luck is going to put TheRealZ3ro out to a 1-0 lead here. But Dino is not going to be, this isn't a bad time. This is going to be a 6-10 or so. That's more than competitive. It just goes to show the difference in luck. TheRealZ3ro got 2 amazing spreaders.
And when you have 2 good spreaders in great locations and Mutoid Man is right there, you can't really defend against it. So, TheRealZ3ro goes up 1-0.
Yeah, definitely not a PB for TheRealZ3ro. Their PB is a 5:19. But for a race, that's one of the fastest times we've ever seen in any race in any tournament of this. Just goes to show you, like, when the luck lines up, whoo, baby. Great combination of luck and skill for TheRealZ3ro has them out in front here. Dino, just going to need to tidy up tank trouble a bit and get a little bit better drops, and he'll be right back in this thing, though, I think.
That should be the case. While we have a little bit of a down period while the runners are getting ready, we have three more matches coming up today.
3 matches? Go on. Or don't?
My computer was acting up.
Error Sigma.exe has encountered a fatal shutdown. And here we are, game number 2. Sigma will get back to you on what's ahead on the schedule for the docket as we get underway here. Again, TheRealZ3ro going for the guaranteed orb in the next room, assuming everything goes according to plan. Dino, we're not sure exactly how we're pronouncing that, I guess, is kicking it old school, as per usual.
Yep. Okay, got it fixed. Next up in the docket will be J-Pop for Life versus Telio. That is a semifinal match. That is the start of the best of sevens. Akos will take on Space Colonizer, and Jack will take on former champion Prince Leaf.
Yeah, going to be an interesting match. We're going to have a former champion versus a former runner-up. Oh boy. But this time, the orb manipulation did not work for TheRealZ3ro, so just chasing drops like a mad person they are. Going to get some rockets, that'll help out. No orb for Dino yet either. So
And
we're
no
probably
weapons
not
either.
going to see
Well,
the
there's the
caliber of
orb.
times we saw in the previous race here, Sigma, but good play is at least going to get TheRealZ3ro at a 124.
Yep, and MrDino will be out at a 130. TheRealZ3ro gets clubbed.
Oof, that's a rough opening there, and still chasing an orb is TheRealZ3ro. Is ahead time-wise by right at this moment, but gonna need to see an orb by the end of the room, or that'll be Dino's opportunity to capitalize and open up a lead here in game number 2.
Yeah, TheRealZ3ro just isn't getting the weapons right now, although in this room it shouldn't harm him that badly. He is keeping good control of the room.
Yeah, being very aggressive and using every drop that you get in this room can keep it afloat even without an orb, as we saw there. Lost a tiny bit of time due to the death, so Dino only about a second and a half behind, but has that all-important orb. And no orb yet for Zero. That lead is going to grow, Sigma.
Well, his lead will shrink. Dino's lead is now going to grow. And it's just good firing lanes that Dino's got. Just real solid play. TheRealZ3ro's got himself a Razor Shield. That will help out defensively. But he's going to use it offensively here, just trying to get that kill count up and trying to claw his way back. Rockets for Dino had to go a long way to get him and had to use a little bit of them to get back to the center. TheRealZ3ro now has rockets, followed up by more rockets if he can get them, and he does. So he's going to keep pace,
Good firing
and
lanes
there's
by
the
TheRealZ3ro with those rockets, keeping the dream alive. Gets a late orb, and despite not having an orb for most of that room, good rocket fire is going to keep us dead even, down to the frame going into the bonus room. Sigma, what's it time for?
Yes, it is time for Taco Bell's replacement. We have Taco Del Mar. Eat more.
I don't know what the first one is, but the second one is a chocolate bar.
There's an Eat More bar in Canada?
There certainly is. It's not great. Anyway, into tank trouble. No one finding anything too great so far. Mid-room Razor Shield for TheRealZ3ro will help out, followed by rockets. That's perfect. Dino loses the orb, loses his life. Now he's going to have to really hope for some great drops to get back into this one. TheRealZ3ro going to be opening up a lead here in tank trouble.
And it's going to be quite a big lead here. He's getting drops. He had 2 spreaders, and he's going to be out of the room at a 421.
Not as otherworldly as last time, but the way the drops are, you can only do so much. And speaking of drops, Dino was able to make good use of an invuln and then excellent rocket fire. Only lost 6 seconds on Zero in that room. It's still anyone's game.
Zero does
Zero
not get the
misses
ball buster.
unfortunately, and Dino cannot take an intentional death for that spreader, so going to have to go manual strats here, at least landing a few shots before getting run over. First arm goes down for Zero, and Dino gets an empty drop that Mutoid promptly parks on, and you can see a little shake of the head there, not liking what he sees, and why should he?
Nope, and now he's a form behind as he pops the first arm. TheRealZ3ro just putting good lobber shots in, just making sure he's at least hitting something.
Yeah, both of them going to work with that lobber there. We've got a simultaneous form switch for both there. Is TheRealZ3ro one form ahead right now over Dino. Dino knows he's got to gamble. TheRealZ3ro gets that spreader, though. Gonna have to walk a long way to use it. And it's sabotage. Still got a form out of it, though, Sigma. And it's a 2-form lead for Zero now.
He did get the form out of it. He's got these lobbers. He's putting them in a good spot. And here, body now pops. Here's the final form.
Yeah, and those lobber shots for Zero in a great spot, so those still count as transfer damage, doing a little bit of extra there, but still probably going to need a second weapon drop other than these grenades to finish it off. That lobber should do it for Zero, barring some sort of catastrophe. Head pops for Dino, trying desperately to get back in this, but just nothing doing with the drops, and TheRealZ3ro is going to take game number 2.
And Dino saw that,
and deservedly so. He's in a big hole, and it's really no fault of his own. RNG favoring the favorites, as our best commentator, LOZ Cards fans love to say, and it's a 2-0 lead for TheRealZ3ro here.
That is correct, and Dino, he's our restreamer, so he knows what's going on with Zero. And once he saw Zero just dust him after he blew up Mutoid Man, he knew it was game over.
Well, the good news is it's not game over just yet. This is a best of 5. Tall order for Dino to win 3 in a row. But we've seen crazier things happen in these tournaments before, and Dino usually finishes, I think he's finished in 4th place the last 2 tournaments prior to this one. I wouldn't count him out just yet, Sigma.
Just an update in the bracket. Whoever wins this match will go up against the 11th seed. Who's this again? Tapatio J, I think? No, they'll go up against Lucha Jim in that in the losers bracket semifinals, or quarterfinals actually. And here we go. Game 3. Either Zero sweeps or Dino
smash some televisions.
Oh yeah. You can't smash too much because their prices are going up because of what's going on.
Yeah, I'm sure you could still watch a smashed television. Maybe, sort of. It depends on what type of television you smash, I suppose.
Zero.
TheRealZ3ro's shield breaks and grabs the nuke, so that looks like what you're supposed to see in the first room at least. We'll see if that orb does show up, however.
And we are pretty much even. It's going to come down to whether he got the drop. He did. Rockets for Dino, so we're kind of even right now.
I would say, time-wise, Dino at least has an advantage right now. Rockets by themselves are better than an orb in this room. You still want to see the orb for later, but rocket, rocket, rocket for Dino, that's all he's going to need to finish this up. This clip of rockets is going to end the room for Dino, despite not having an orb. He'll probably be slightly ahead of TheRealZ3ro, and he is.
By about a half second.
Not much of a lead, but you take what you can get. Now the, real question for Dino is, can he get that orb in this room? This room is free. This is the best time to go hunting for an orb, if you don't guarantee one immediately. Over on TheRealZ3ro's side, rockets and an orb, this room is just completely free for TheRealZ3ro. You might as well just, take a little nap in this room at that point.
No, you can't do that because you still got to kill enemies, and that razor shield could pop.
Just gotta play blindfolded. It can't be that hard.
So says the person who was the first person to beat Mike Tyson blindfolded.
Not the first person to beat Mike Tyson, just the whole game at once. You gotta give credit to my boy Daniel T, please. He was the first to defeat Mike Tyson without looking, and he did it without little baby strats that I came up with. So, yeah. Don't forget the Tysonator. Anyway, still no orb for Dino, so he's just being as aggressive as possible, using his weapons, using his razor shield as a weapon. Get some rockets now. He still is looking desperately for an orb, as TheRealZ3ro has the dream for this room. Orb and razor shield is absolute perfection. There's an orb for Dino finally. He's going to have to take his time to get it. Doesn't want to lose it right away, and does.
Yep, because the orb spawns at the 2 o'clock position for runners, and he's not going to be back by much. He's only going to be back by about 5 seconds.
No, not back by much. Again, great rocket fire. We've seen it on both sides in this match. Like, the rocket fire from both of these guys, I think puts even me to shame. Maybe even CHX. He's the rocket master if you've ever seen him play.
Hopefully we'll have him back for the 10th.
Oh, I'm sure everyone will be back for the 10th. That is going to be the most lit tournament ever, but we've still got to get through this very fun 9th. Dino dancing a bit. Oh, he gets clubbed right as he's about to pick up his salvation in the form of that rocket. That is an extremely unfortunate death.
Dino, you saw the look on his face when it happened. He is like, oh god, this is over.
He is upset, and deservedly so. He's just trying to shake it off. He's focusing. He's still playing very well, Sigma, even though luck has not favored him. He does have rockets. TheRealZ3ro in with a 4:15. Great time. Dino's going to have his work cut out for him to come back in this one, and he absolutely must win this game or his tournament is over. It's a 14-second lead for TheRealZ3ro going into Mutoid Man. Dino shaking his head. He needs a miracle. All he needs is a miracle. All he needs is you.
There's a bit of a miracle right there.
Yeah, and Dino heads up, not taking the death to grab the spreader because Mutoid was just entering the room. No need. You don't have to worry about the vibration there. So Dino, with that heads up play, oh, the second arm goes for Dino. Even better spreader than I thought. Dino is now ahead of TheRealZ3ro with a great play and a bit of bad luck on Zero's side.
Then again, like it's happened the past 2 games, TheRealZ3ro gets
huge drop for TheRealZ3ro. This is not going to get him caught up to Dino, though, Sigma. That's how much of a lead Dino opened up here on Mutoid Man.
You were saying?
Well, TheRealZ3ro's starting to catch up. If he gets this spreader, he does get it. Dino in trouble now. The RNG favoring the favorites. Head pop in unison. Dino has a refill. Final form for Zero, who gets run over. Dino, oh! This might do it. Sigma, this'll do it. If he gets the transfer damage, Dino can take this.
I'll do it. Oh, he gets...
Bit of sabotage, but Zero takes a death. And a game over. And Dino able to come back from the dead to take game number 3. Amazing.
He had like an 83-second mutoid there. That was just fortuitous play by Mr. Dino. He is now back in this race 2-1.
Yet in Smash TV, sometimes it's better to be lucky than to be good, but there hasn't been any situation in this match where people haven't been good, Sigma. We're watching top end talent and some very exciting RNG swings. This is feeling like an instant classic right now.
It has been a classic match. Now we got to see if Mr. Dino can hopefully have his luck continue into Game 4 and maybe into Game 5.
Oh, as the commentators and the viewers, we always want these to go the distance. But just think about that game 3. How often was Dino just shaking his head, just in complete disbelief at the business the game gave him all the way through? But in that Mutoid fight, not only did he get the drops, he also played them so smartly that he was able to turn his 14-second deficit into a 40-second victory. I don't think this match is over just yet, Sigma.
I don't think so either. We're getting ready for Game 4. Jack is going to count down the runners. And buckle up, folks.
Well, I've given them the countdown, Sigma, so we'll be off and underway in just a few seconds here. And as usual, Dino, both Racer and Restreamer, we're going to see that little teeny tiny pause on TheRealZ3ro's side. And Dino's going to line it up before he plays. Nice to have a game where you can actually do that at the start of a race rather than diving right into the inputs there. Still, a very impressive technical feat. Racer and Restreamer, you really don't see that a whole lot in any speedrun community, I don't believe.
No, you don't. Maybe sometimes in Dragon Warrior, but not often. And TheRealZ3ro, he doesn't look too thrilled about it. I don't think he got it.
Yeah, a bit sketchy there. We'll see what happens here. He's still going to go for it. No, he's got it.
Dino gets a nuke on the feet, but he gets a spreader, though. That's going to help out.
Yeah, Zero rocking both an orb and some rockets here. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Dino going spreader, spreader, spreader. Where's the orb? Or at least a rocket, please. And there's finally a rocket for Dino, but Zero gonna be into Shrapnel at a 116. Doesn't get a whole lot better than that, Sigma.
And Zero had to do some ducking and diving just to make sure he didn't ram that Razor Shield into the shrapnel. Otherwise, that fresh, brand new Razor Shield would have crumpled like a Yugo back in 1987.
Did he also have to do some dodging and dipping and dodging?
Don't forget the diving.
You already said that, you fool.
Well, I'm Patrick O'Houlihan. I was the Smash TV champion of 1975. I created the 5 Ds of Smash TV. Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
Absolute classic of a movie. Anyway, here we are now in Total Carnage. Dino gets a foot and is playing with a pea shooter. That is just horrendous luck, but finally gets an orb. He is going to be behind TheRealZ3ro, going to need some great drops in the arena to catch up here. Zero just chilling like a villain with the orb and the Razor Shield. No problems whatsoever here in Total Carnage. Might as well be Total Snooze Fest.
Well, you better not say that because Dino had back-to-back rockets.
Yeah, and rockets are, as we've said, the primo weapon in any arena room. RealZ3ro going to be out at a 255. Great time entering the bonus room. Dino does not get shrapneled and not going to be too far behind despite the late orb 303. It's an 8-second lead for RealZ3ro, but not insurmountable by any means.
Nope. And we have some product placement here with Taco Guimas, which is a local taco place here in Tacoma, Parkland. Big burritos the size of your forearm. Mm-mm-mm.
I would love to eat a burrito that large. As long as it's a good burrito. First drop rockets for Dino, and RealZ3ro loses the orb. I think we might see a lead change here, Sigma.
It's possible, and Dino does some great maneuvering with the orb, gets in between those two landmines, keeps the orb healthy. He's going to try to keep this room healthy. Swarmers are getting a little
Great
crazier.
aggression from RealZ3ro with the invuln. Desperately gonna need better weapons than that, but that good invuln use at least kept the spawn rate going. Ooh, Dino's orb, and he gets an orb immediately afterwards. What is this madness? I mean, he would, at this point, he would have been happier with a spreader, but ballbuster opportunity at least, I suppose.
Yeah, he can get the ball buster going, maybe get a first drop rocket.
Yeah, so RealZ3ro, first time this match, entering the Mutoid Man room behind the 8-ball. Dino lands his ball buster, but now he needs some weapons. First drop, spreader for 0, and he's got it and going to have to go manual. Lobber for Dino. 0 is zapped. Arm popping for Dino, so about a 1-form lead right now.
And more lobbers for Dino, but he avoids. He's avoiding the gunner. Didn't avoid that one. So he's going to try to take out this gunner. The drop is a grenade. He's going to go to the back of the head of Mutoid. He'll do double damage there.
Potentially. It's not too common to get extra damage with the grenades, but you gotta know your positions for the weapons and at least try to get extra damage where you can. Second arm pops for RealZ3ro with some great lobber fire. Invuln versus invuln, so empty drop versus empty drop, and we're all tied up. Dino going to work with a lobber, RealZ3ro pumping in those low damage rockets, so Dino restoring his lead about half a form right now. Going to work, his lobbers have run out, but he gets a refill. Head pops for 0, but it's an empty drop and all he's got is grenades. Final form for Dino, and there's a refill for the lobber, just needs to be careful. He gets run over. 0 gets an empty drop, so not the biggest opportunity there for him. Will these
Good rate of
grenades
fire.
be enough
Oh,
for
he
Dino?
gets shrapnel
No, he gets
sniped.
hit with the shrapnel. Spreader when it doesn't matter, but it's still a weapon, and that's gonna do it. We're all tied up at 2 games apiece.
Zero could have made this closer.
For Dino, and it's going to be about a 6:49 for RealZ3ro. So yeah, Sigma, the first time RealZ3ro entered Mutoid behind, they finished about the same distance. Drops did not play a factor in this race. It all came down to arena play.
I'll also say a little bit of luck came into play as well. Because Dino was able to just get constant lobbers. He was able to put them where he needed. Didn't have many garbage drops in Mutoid. 0 did have a couple of garbage drops, but he didn't get the good stuff until Dino was far and away.
Well, RealZ3ro's playing the manipulation. He created his own luck. He had an orb from the word go. Dino was chasing an orb all the way through Total Carnage. What it came down to is just a tiny mistake in tank trouble for 0, costing the orb and then later his life. And Dino capitalized on that on that gift of a mistake from the other racer and was able to close this one out. So it's winner take all, game 5. Doesn't get much more exciting than this. Doesn't get much more stressful than this for the racers. But as an audience and commentators, we love to see it.
Jack is counting down the runners for our decider, game 5.
Well, I told them both before the race, I demand 2 sub-6 times. I want to see something incredible here. So, no pressure, boys. All you's got to do is do some of the, best gameplay and luck that you can manage. Get her done.
Yeah.
Well, we're all synced up and we're underway. Zero gonna go for his trusty orb manipulation again. Dino kicking it old school. And I just want to point out, Dino is so consistent with his movement in this early room that we've seen that exact same nuke in that exact same spot 3 games out of 5 for Dino.
Yep, and also as it turns out, he's going to have a tiniest of leads, about 0.2 of a second.
That does not mean a whole lot this early into the game, Sigma. What matters is that first drop for Dino since he left it up to Fate. TheRealZ3ro's got his orb again. This time Dino gets grenades. Oof, that is not pleasant. Invulnerability at least can be used as a weapon, but we want to see something better than that for Dino. Zero, meanwhile, not getting anything too great after that initial orb, but the double firepower will probably have Zero with an advantage coming out of this room. Great fire, 117.
117, Dino just not getting anything at the end of the room. Gonna plow himself through the razor shield. Rockets for Zero in Eat My Shrapnel.
Yeah, Dino not too happy with that time out of the room. A 127, a 10-second lead for Zero early, and he already has the orb.
Yeah, for Dino, no rockets, no spreaders, no orb, no hope.
Well, we'll see what this room brings at least. Dino, it was able to keep everything afloat with the terrible drops until this pack of rockets dropped, so won't be any issue for Dino to close the room out. Now the question is he going to be able to get an orb before going into total carnage, which TheRealZ3ro has just entered? And unfortunately, no, but he's able to end the room with a nuke. You don't see that a whole lot in Eat My Shrapnel, but if you time it correctly as Dino did, you can save a second over the standard 42-second room time.
And Dino's going to get rewarded for it. He gets his orb.
He does indeed. He's still got a deficit on the times sheet, but we will see what the drops are here. Orb versus orb. I don't see either of our runners having any difficulty finishing out this room. It's just a matter of who's going to get the rockets, who's going to get the razor shields, anything that can just give you a little extra edge.
Right. Zero's going to be out at 251. Just got some good drops there. Quite a bit of spreaders. We're not seeing many drops from Dino. Dino's drops have been slow.
We've seen yet in this match, Sigma. TheRealZ3ro having very good firing lanes. When it matters most, it's win or go home. That's the kind of play you got to see. Dino, about 21 seconds behind. He's got his work cut out for him.
Dino takes out
second drop rocket and is able to pick it up. Gunners are gone and now getting to work on the swarmers. When he gets a razor shield, the rich getting richer. Zero, more rockets. Look at those drops, Sigma. Wow.
It's exactly the drops that you need. Dino got one gunner. Now he's just got to try to keep this center. Great
nuke grab. That's going to clear all those swarmers out and let him get rid of the other gunner. And now he's getting some rockets, Sigma. He's going to need another. He gets a refill. So he may not necessarily lose time in this room here as long as he's good with these rockets. A little loose with the fire. Oh, yeah, I don't know how he kept the orb. Great movement from Dino there. But he's still got work to do as TheRealZ3ro gets to work on Mutoid Man. Rockets for Dino to finish the room out. And TheRealZ3ro going to work with the grenades. It's a form lead plus a cutscene, so Dino, he's going to need a great spreader to get back into this one.
Yeah, but the thing is, Zero just wasted a big clip. Dino gets belted, and it's going to be a 2-form lead. But Zero.
Oh, that spreader for Zero. This might do it, Sigma. Unless the drops dry up, I think Zero is going to take this game. The head pops for Zero. He's got a lobber to work with. He doesn't need to worry too much here. All he has to do is not get hosed by RNG, and he should take this match. Dino at least getting a good spreader to make an attempt to come back into this thing. Gets run over. It's still a 3-form lead, and Dino's not going to be able to get that lobber. Zero gets his lobber. Will this be enough damage? There is a refill. If not, it is! And Zero is going to take the 5th and deciding game with another very good time, comfortably under 6 minutes, a 5:43 in the deciding game for TheRealZ3ro.
There was absolutely nothing Mr. Dino could do about it. Just the RNG broke Zero's way at the beginning, the middle, and the end. There's just nothing he could do. He played well. Just that's one of those times you just gotta shake your head and say, nothing you can do.
Yeah, Sigma. This is something that's I've seen as a commentator that's been very interesting this tournament. There, in a lot of the cases where you create your own luck to get that first drop orb in collect power-ups, that makes such a difference in the arena. In races where the other racer who's not using that manipulation tactic just gets absolutely nothing for drops. Like it feels like that has to be the meta for a race now. It's not something you want to do in a personal best attempt because the first room is longer than playing it, correctly, but in a race, oh, we've seen how important it can be to create your own luck.